Hello students, this is second lecture on numericals on rotational dynamics by Leena Shirke, Physics Department, New English High School and Junior College. Now first we'll read the sum. Somehow an ant is stuck to the rim of a bicycle wheel of diameter 1 meter. While the bicycle is on a central stand, the wheel is set into rotation. So initially the bicycle wheel is at rest and therefore its angular velocity is 0 or its frequency is equal to 0. And it attains the frequency of 2 revolutions in 10 seconds. So the final frequency after 10 seconds is n2 is equal to 2 revolutions per second with uniform angular acceleration. So calculate the number of revolutions completed by the ant in these 10 seconds, and second question is time taken by it for first complete revolution and the last complete revolution. So now we'll see what is given in the sum. So data is that bicycle wheel is having diameter 1 meter, so d is equal to 1 meter. Initially it is at rest, so initial frequency n0 is equal to 0. Then after 10 seconds its frequency becomes 2 revolutions per second, so n1 is equal to 2 revolutions per second and the time taken for it is 10 seconds. Then we need to find the number of revolutions completed by the ant in this 10-second time and the time taken to complete the first revolution and the time taken to complete the last revolution. Clear? So now here we can use kinematical equation. So using kinematical equation for circular motion to find alpha, omega 1 is equal to omega 0 plus alpha t. Now linear motion के लिए आपको पता है क्या है kinematical equation for uniform acceleration, that v is equal to u plus at, where v is nothing but final velocity, u is nothing but initial velocity, a is nothing but acceleration, uniform acceleration and t is nothing but time. तो यहाँ पे हमने उसी इक्वेशन का एनालॉगस टर्म्स लिया है. तो ओमेगा 1 इज द फाइनल एंगुलर वेलोसिटी, then omega 0 is the initial angular velocity, alpha is angular acceleration and t is time. Now as initially this wheel is at rest, omega 0 is equal to 0. Initial angular velocity or frequency is equal to 0. And therefore omega 1 minus omega 0 which is equal to alpha t, will substitute omega 0 as 0 and will get alpha t is equal to omega 1. Therefore alpha is equal to omega 1 upon t, and omega 1 is nothing but 2 pi n1, where n1 is nothing but the final frequency upon t. तो आपको पता है कि ओमेगा के लिए हम ये सब्स्टिट्यूशन करते हैं 2 pi n. क्लियर? Omega is nothing but 2 pi upon t, और omega is nothing but 2 pi n, where 1 by t is equal to n. तो यहाँ पे n1 का वैल्यू हमें पता है कितना, 2 रिवॉल्यूशंस पर सेकेंड. टाइम हमें पता है कितना था, 10 सेकेंड्स. तो यहाँ पे सब्स्टिट्यूट करते हैं और हमें मिलेगा अल्फा इज इक्वल टू 2 पाई इंटू 2 अपॉन 10, विच इज इक्वल टू, नाउ 2 2s are 4, so 4 into pi upon 10, that is 0.4 pi rad per second square. So this is nothing but uniform angular acceleration with which this wheel is rotating. Clear? Now अभी हमें अल्फा मिल गया है, तो हमें क्या फाइंड आउट करना है, नंबर ऑफ रिवॉल्यूशंस कैपिटल N in this time interval 10 seconds. So to find that, we are going to use the kinematical equation theta is equal to omega 0 t plus half alpha t square. लीनियर मोशन में यही इक्वेशन हम कौन सा यूज करते हैं, s लीनियर डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज इक्वल टू ut प्लस हाफ at स्क्वायर. तो यहाँ पे s होता है लीनियर डिस्प्लेसमेंट होता है, यहाँ पे इनिशियल वेलोसिटी होता है, यहाँ पे लीनियर एक्सेलरेशन होता है. तो इसके एनालॉगस टर्म सर्कुलर मोशन में क्या है, एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट, एंगुलर वेलोसिटी, इनिशियल एंगुलर वेलोसिटी एंड एंगुलर एक्सेलरेशन एंड टाइम. क्लियर? अभी हमें ये पता है कि अगर एक रिवॉल्यूशन होता है तो एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट कितना होता है, 2 पाई रेडियन. तो अगर n नंबर ऑफ रिवॉल्यूशंस होंगे तो एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट कितना होगा, n मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2 पाई। तो यही हमने यहाँ पे यूज किया है, थीटा इज इक्वल टू 2 पाई इंटू कैपिटल N. So this is nothing but the angular displacement in n number of revolutions, which is equal to half alpha t square. Now as omega 0, the initial angular velocity is 0, so we'll substitute that and this term vanishes, and therefore theta is equal to 2 pi n is equal to half alpha t square. Now we know the value of alpha and t, so we'll substitute that. So theta is equal to 2 pi n half, and alpha is nothing but 0.4 pi radian per second square. So after substituting that, and t is equal to 10 second time, so 10 का square. Now 2 pi, यहाँ पे pi get cancelled from right hand side and left hand side, and therefore remaining is n. फाइंड आउट करना है, तो n is equal to 0.2 इंटू 100 अपॉन 2. ये 2 यहाँ पे डिनोमिनेटर में शिफ्ट हुआ. क्लियर? नाउ 2 2 जा 4, सो 0.4 अपॉन 4 इज नथिंग बट कितना आता है 0.1 इंटू यहाँ पे आएगा 10 का स्क्वायर दैट इज 100. तो ये आएगा 0.1 इंटू 100 विच इज इक्वल टू 10 revolutions. So number of revolutions in 10 seconds is equal to कितना हो जाएगा यहाँ पे 10 revolutions. Clear? Now we'll find the time for first revolution, to complete first revolution. So again we are going to use the same kinematical equation. Theta is equal to omega 0 t plus half alpha t square. Now to complete one revolution, time is suppose small t, and it is completed with angular acceleration alpha. Initial angular velocity we know that omega 0 is equal to 0, so this term vanishes. ये जो term है यहाँ पे omega 0 t, this term vanishes, and therefore we will get theta is equal to half alpha t square. But theta, the angular displacement in one complete revolution, in first complete revolution, is 2 pi radian. So we'll substitute that 2 pi is equal to half alpha t square. Now from this equation we'll get the value of t square. So we'll substitute here alpha, which is 0.4 pi. Pi get cancelled from left hand side and right hand side. Then 2 to the 4, so it will be 0.4 upon 4, that is 0.1, and therefore t square is equal to क्या आएगा 1 upon 0.1, और 2 upon 0.2 is nothing but 1 upon 0.1. So t taking square root on both the sides will get here square root of 10. So this is time to complete one revolution, first revolution, which is square root 10 seconds. यहाँ पे हमने 0.1 को 10 raised to -1 लिखा, तो ऊपर जाने के बाद क्या होगा वो 10 raised to 1. So t square is equal to 10, and therefore taking square root on both the sides will get t1 is equal to square root of 10 seconds. So this is the time to complete the first revolution. Clear? Next, we'll find the time to complete 10th revolution. अभी यहाँ पे ये ध्यान में रखिए, हमें 10th रिवॉल्यूशन के लिए टाइम फाइंड आउट करना है. तो 10th रिवॉल्यूशन का टाइम हमें कब मिल सकता है, हमें पता है कि 10 रिवॉल्यूशंस कंप्लीट करने के लिए कितना टाइम लग रहा है 10 सेकेंड्स. तो अगर हम 9 रिवॉल्यूशंस के लिए टाइम फाइंड आउट करते हैं और 10 रिवॉल्यूशंस का जो टाइम है दैट इज 10 सेकेंड्स, उसमें से 9 रिवॉल्यूशंस का टाइम माइनस करते हैं तो हमें क्या मिलेगा, टाइम टू कंप्लीट लास्ट रिवॉल्यूशन. टाइम टू कंप्लीट लास्ट रिवॉल्यूशन. क्लियर? So now again we are going to use the same kinematical equation, that is theta is equal to omega 0 t plus half alpha t square. Now again omega 0 is 0, initial angular velocity will substitute 0, so the term vanishes, and time to complete the 9 revolutions. So 9 into 2 pi is nothing but angular displacement इन 9 रिवॉल्यूशंस, एक रिवॉल्यूशन में अगर 2 पाई रेडियन एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट होता है तो 9 रिवॉल्यूशंस में कितना एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट होगा, 9 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2 पाई विच इज इक्वल टू हाफ अल्फा टी स्क्वायर. Now next again we'll substitute your alpha value which is 0.4 pi. Pi get cancelled from both the sides. Then 2 to the 4, so 0.4 upon 4 will be 0.1, and therefore t square is equal to 9 upon 0.1. So this is 10 raised to minus 1. ऊपर शिफ्ट हुआ न्यूमरेटर में तो क्या हो जाएगा 10 raised to plus 1. So that will be 9 into 10 which is equal to 90. So t square is equal to 90. And now taking square roots on both the sides will get t is equal to square root of 90 which is nothing but 9.49 सेकेंड. तो अगर आप लॉग बुक यूज करते हैं उसमें स्क्वायर रूट टेबल होता है तो वहां से आपको ये वैल्यू मिल जाएगा which is 9.49 seconds. Now this is the time to complete 9 revolutions. बट हमें फाइंड आउट करना है टाइम टू कंप्लीट द लास्ट रिवॉल्यूशन, 10th रिवॉल्यूशन. तो हमें ये पता है कि 10 रिवॉल्यूशन कितने टाइम में कंप्लीट होते हैं, 10 सेकेंड्स में. और 9 रिवॉल्यूशंस के लिए टाइम कितना मिला है, 9.49 सेकेंड्स. सो द टाइम टू कंप्लीट द लास्ट रिवॉल्यूशन इज 10 माइनस 9.49 which is equal to 0.51 seconds. Clear? So this is the time to complete the first revolution जहाँ पे हमने angular displacement कितना लिया 2 pi radian. And this is the time to complete 0.51 second is the time to complete 10th revolution, last revolution. Clear? Now coefficient of static friction between a coin and a gramophone disc is 0.5. So mu given is 0.5. Radius of the disc is 8 centimeter. Initially the center of the coin is pi centimeter away from the center of the disc. So the coin is placed on the disc and it is at a distance of pi centimeter initially from the center of the disc. At what minimum frequency will it start slipping from there? By what factor will the answer change if the coin is almost at the rim? So at the rim of the disc मतलब क्या है, तो at the edge है और एज कितने डिस्टेंस पे है, उसका रेडियस कितना है 8 सेंटीमीटर. तो वो रहेगा 8 सेंटीमीटर डिस्टेंस पे. कॉइन कितने डिस्टेंस पे रहेगा, 8 सेंटीमीटर डिस्टेंस पे रहेगा फ्रॉम द सेंटर ऑफ द डिस्क. नाउ यूज g इज इक्वल टू पाई स्क्वायर मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. So the data which is given in the problem is mu is equal to 0.5, coefficient of static friction, radius of the disc, ये जो यहाँ पे डिस्क दिया है हमें उसका रेडियस कितना है, कैपिटल R is equal to 8 centimeter. Now the coin is placed at a distance of 5 centimeter from the center of the disc. तो यहाँ पे ये coin का सेंटर यहाँ से डिस्क के एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन से कितने डिस्टेंस पे है, that is small r which is equal to pi centimeter initially. And next f1 find out करना है हमें frequency of rotation. And secondly next क्या find out करना है, f2 upon f1 find out करना है. Clear? तो अभी यहाँ पे ये जो coin है, as disc rotates this coin performs circular motion. बट ये ट्राई करेगा स्किड होने का, अगर स्पीड इंक्रीज होता है तो उसे कौन अपोज करता है, फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स. सो द फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स हियर प्रोवाइड्स द नेसेसरी सेंट्रिपिटल फोर्स and therefore write down here frictional force equal to centripetal force. But frictional force is nothing but mu times n. Mu is coefficient of static friction, n is nothing but normal reaction which is equal to mr omega square, where omega is nothing but angular speed, r is nothing but radius of that circular path, and m is nothing but mass of the object. Clear? Now as weight mg is acting in the downward direction and the normal reaction is in the upward direction, they both balance each other and therefore we can substitute here n equals to mg. So mu mg is equal to mr omega square. ये जो m है वो किसका मास है, ये कॉइन का मास है. mm get cancelled from both the sides and therefore we will get mu g is equal to r omega square. ना अभी हमें यहाँ पे किसका वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करना है, तो फ्रीक्वेंसी फाइंड आउट करना है. और ओमेगा और फ्रीक्वेंसी का रिलेशन होता है ओमेगा इज इक्वल टू 2 पाई एफ. सो ये फर्स्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी है जब ये कितने डिस्टेंस पे है, पाई सेंटीमीटर अवे फ्रॉम द एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन. सो हियर वी विल सब्स्टिट्यूट म्यू जी इज इक्वल टू आर 2 pi f1 the whole square. Now squaring will get mu g is equal to r 4 pi square f1 square. Next g will substitute pi square. यहाँ पे हमें बोला है use g is equal to pi square which is nearly equal to 10. So pi square get cancelled from both the sides and therefore we'll get f1 square is equal to mu upon 4r. But r, that is nothing but distance of the center of the coin from the axis of rotation, is pi centimeter. So we'll substitute here 3.142. Clear? Now after substituting that we'll get, now pi सेंटीमीटर है तो हमें यहाँ पे उसको कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा मीटर में. So 3.142 into 10 raised to minus 2, but 10 raised to minus 2 न्यूमरेटर में शिफ्ट होने के बाद क्या होगा, 10 raised to 2, that will be 100. So f1 square is equal to 0.5, that is mu value, into 100 upon 4 into 3.142. Now 0.5 into 100, तो एक 10 से मल्टीप्लाई होगा तो 5 हो जाएगा एंड रिमेनिंग जो भी है 10 फैक्टर उससे मल्टीप्लाई होगा तो क्या होगा 50. सो 50 अपॉन 12.568. नाउ टेकिंग स्क्वायर रूट विल गेट f1 is equal to square root of 3.98 and therefore f1 is equal to 1.99 revolutions per second. तो यहाँ पे भी आपको लॉग बुक यूज करना है टू फाइंड द स्क्वायर रूट और हमें मिलेगा फ्रीक्वेंसी, फर्स्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी व्हेन द डिस्टेंस इज पाई सेंटीमीटर, दैट इज 1.99 रिवॉल्यूशंस पर सेकेंड. यहाँ पे हमें f1 स्क्वायर मिला 3.98, स्क्वायर रूट लेने के बाद हमें क्या मिलेगा 1.99 रिवॉल्यूशंस पर सेकेंड. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी व्हेन द सेंटर ऑफ द कॉइन इज एट अ डिस्टेंस ऑफ पाई सेंटीमीटर फ्रॉम द एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन. Now suppose the coin is placed at the rim of the disc, that is at a distance of 8 centimeter from the axis of rotation of the disc. तो ये जो coin का center है वो कहाँ पे आएगा, at 8 centimeter away from this axis of rotation, क्योंकि radius कितना है disc का 8 centimeter. Now again frictional force is equal to centripetal force. So mu times n is equal to mr omega square or mu n is equal to mr omega square. N is equal to mg. So mu mg is equal to mr omega square. Mm get cancelled from both the sides and therefore we'll get mu g is equal to r omega square. Next mu g is equal to r and suppose frequency is f2 this time. So r into bracket ओमेगा स्क्वायर, ओमेगा की जगह पे हम क्या सब्स्टिट्यूट करेंगे 2 पाई f2 where f2 is the second frequency, the whole square. Now squaring will get mu g is equal to r 4 pi square f2 square. Now substitute g is equal to pi square. So pi square get cancelled from both the sides and therefore we'll get f2 square is equal to mu upon 4r. Now instead of r we'll substitute here 8 centimeter. But 8 centimeter is nothing but 8 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. 10 raised to minus 2 shifted to numerator, it becomes 100 and therefore it will be 0.5 into 100 upon 4 into 8, which is equal to 50 upon 8 4s are 32, so 50 upon 32 and therefore f2 square is equal to 1.56. सो f2 इज इक्वल टू स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 1.56. तो ये जो वैल्यू मैंने यहाँ पे फाइंड आउट किया है 1.56, ये आप लॉग से भी फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं या डायरेक्ट डिवीजन से फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं एंड देन वी हैव टू टेक द स्क्वायर रूट ऑन बोथ द साइड्स. सो f2 इज इक्वल टू स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 1.56 जो आपको लॉग बुक, जो लॉग टेबल बुक होता है उसमें मिलेगा, तो होगा f2 इक्वल टू 1.25 रिवॉल्यूशंस पर सेकेंड. क्लियर? तो इनिशियली कितना था, जब भी पाई सेंटीमीटर अवे था तो वो था 1.99 रिवॉल्यूशंस पर सेकेंड f1 और जब भी वो 8 सेंटीमीटर अवे है फ्रॉम एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन तो फ्रीक्वेंसी इज 1.25 रिवॉल्यूशंस पर सेकेंड. तो ये जो फैक्टर है वो कितना आएगा f2 by f1, इट इज इक्वल टू 0.628. तो फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या हुआ, चेंज हुआ. सो F2 इज इक्वल टू 0.628 टाइम्स F1. क्लियर? Now next problem given is a pendulum consisting of a massless string of length 20 centimeter and a tiny bob of mass 100 gram is set up as a conical pendulum. Its bob now performs 75 rpm, that is revolutions per minute. Calculate the kinetic energy and increase in the gravitational potential energy of the bob. Use pi square is equal to 10. So the data which is given in this problem is length of the pendulum is 20 centimeter, mass of the bob given is 100 gram, then it performs 75 rpm, revolutions per minute. So revolutions per second will be 75 upon 1 minute is nothing but 60 seconds. So 75 upon 60, which is equal to 15 fours are 60 and 15 fives are 75. So 5 by 4 revolutions per second. So हमें क्या फाइंड आउट करना है, काइनेटिक एनर्जी एंड इंक्रीज इन पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. क्लियर? तो हमें पता है काइनेटिक एनर्जी फॉर्मूला इज हाफ mv स्क्वायर, where v is nothing but speed, linear speed for this bob when it is set up as conical pendulum. So v is nothing but square root of rg tan theta. तो यहाँ पे हमें थीटा का वैल्यू लगेगा, tan थीटा का वैल्यू लगेगा और r मतलब रेडियस ऑफ दिस कोनिकल पेंडुलम, रेडियस ऑफ द सर्कुलर पाथ फॉर कोनिकल पेंडुलम, एंड r इज नथिंग बट l sin थीटा. तो हमें sin थीटा और tan थीटा के वैल्यूज लगेंगे. तो हमें पता है कि अगर हमें n दिया है 75 रिवॉल्यूशंस पर मिनट मतलब 5/4 रिवॉल्यूशंस पर सेकेंड फ्रीक्वेंसी दिया है, तो हम वहां से क्या फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं, टाइम पीरियड फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं, या हम cos थीटा भी फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं जहां से हमें sin और tan का वैल्यूज मिलेगा. क्लियर? सो नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट. सो फर्स्ट we'll write down the formula for time period of conical pendulum, that is t is equal to, which is 1 upon n frequency, which is equal to 2 pi square root of L cos theta upon g, where L is nothing but length of the conical pendulum. Clear? And theta is nothing but semi-vertical angle. So now as frequency is 5 upon 4, so here 1 upon n, that is t, is nothing but 4 by 5 taking reciprocal, which is equal to 2 pi square root of L cos theta upon g. Now length of the conical pendulum कितना होता है, यहाँ पे दिया है 20 सेंटीमीटर. Now squaring on both the sides, first we'll get 16 by 25. 4 का स्क्वायर 16, 5 का स्क्वायर 25, which is equal to 2 का स्क्वायर 4 पाई स्क्वायर, एंड देन यहाँ पे स्क्वायर रूट क्या होगा, वैनिश होगा, और यहाँ पे आएगा L cos थीटा अपॉन g. क्लियर? सो नाउ पाई स्क्वायर और यहाँ पे है g की जगह पे हम क्या सब्स्टिट्यूट कर सकते हैं, 10, बट 10 हमें क्या यूज करना है, पाई स्क्वायर, तो दैट विल बी पाई स्क्वायर. Now pi square get cancelled from numerator and denominator, and therefore next we'll get L cos theta is equal to 4, यहाँ शिफ्ट किया इस साइड तो हमें मिलेगा 16 upon 25 into 4. Now 4 4s are 16, so that will be 4 upon 25 remaining, and therefore L cos theta is equal to 4 upon 25. Next we'll substitute the value of L. So before substituting that, we'll shift this L towards this side, and therefore we'll get cos theta is equal to 4 upon 25 into 1 upon L. Now L value is 20 centimeter. So 20 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter convert किया हमने. 10 raised to minus 2 numerator में shift होके क्या हो जाएगा 100. Now 100 by 20 is nothing but 5, and 5 5s are 25. So that will be 4 upon 5. Therefore theta cos theta is equal to 4 upon 5. So यहाँ हम अगर इसको डिवाइड करते हैं तो हमें क्या मिलेगा, पहले 0 पॉइंट यहाँ लिया मैंने 0, 40 है तो 5 is 40, so 0.8. So cos theta is equal to 0.8. तो ये हमें cos theta का वैल्यू मिला यहाँ से टाइम पीरियड से. और ये cos थीटा से हम sin और tan भी फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं. क्लियर? जो हमें क्या फाइंड आउट करने के लिए लगेगा? काइनेटिक एनर्जी एंड पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. Now next we'll find the kinetic energy of the bob. So kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, where v is nothing but the linear speed of the bob. Clear? Now v, the linear speed of conical pendulum, is rg tan theta, square root of rg tan theta, and therefore instead of v square we'll substitute rg tan theta. So as v is equal to square root of rg tan theta, squaring on both the sides, we'll get v square is equal to rg tan theta. So kinetic energy formula is half m and v square की जगह पे आएगा rg tan theta. तो यहाँ पे अगर हमें काइनेटिक एनर्जी फाइंड आउट करना है तो हमें क्या रेशो लगेगा? tan थीटा रेशो फाइंड आउट करना होगा. एंड नेक्स्ट r हम कैसे फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं? तो यहाँ पे ये कोनिकल पेंडुलम का डायग्राम है. सो दिस थीटा इज नथिंग बट सेमी वर्टिकल एंगल. R is nothing but the radius of the circular path along which this bob is moving. L is nothing but the length of the pendulum, conical pendulum, and this is nothing but height of the conical pendulum. Clear? तो यहाँ पे हमें क्या फाइंड आउट करना है? रेडियस, दैट इज नथिंग बट आर, ऑफ द सर्कुलर पाथ. तो इस राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल में हम साइन थीटा रेशियो अगर फाइंड आउट करते हैं तो दैट विल बी अपोजिट साइड अपॉन हाइपोटेन्यूस, दैट इज आर अपॉन एल इज इक्वल टू साइन थीटा, एंड देयरफॉर आर इज इक्वल टू एल साइन थीटा. So instead of r, we'll substitute here L sin theta. So kinetic energy is equal to half m L sin theta g tan theta. Clear? Next, we know the value of length of the pendulum. Then we know the value of g. But हमें sin theta और tan theta क्या करना पड़ेगा? Find out करना पड़ेगा by using cosine ratio or cos theta ratio. Clear? Now mass of the bob is 100 gram. So we'll put here 100 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg. So kinetic energy is equal to half. Mass is nothing but 100 gram. 100 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg. Into length of the pendulum is 20 centimeter. So 20 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. Convert किया हमने SI system of unit में. Into G is nothing but 10 into sin theta and tan theta. तो यहाँ पे 100 and 10 raised to minus 3. क्या बचेगा? 10 raised to minus 1. क्योंकि ये 10 raised to 2 है. तो minus 3 plus 2 minus 1. नेक्स्ट 2 10 जा 20. तो यहाँ पे आएगा 10. 10 और 10 होगा 10 raised to 2. 10 raised to 2 and 10 raised to minus 2. It becomes 1. तो यहाँ पे आएगा काइनेटिक एनर्जी इज इक्वल टू 10 raised to minus 1. यहाँ से बचा है जो टर्म, एंड यहाँ पे आएगा साइन थीटा एंड tan थीटा. क्लियर? सो काइनेटिक एनर्जी इज इक्वल टू 10 raised to minus 1 साइन थीटा tan थीटा. तो अभी हमें फाइंड आउट करना है साइन रेशियो एंड tan रेशियो. Now as cos theta is equal to 0.8, we can write down it as 0.8 upon 1. तो ये रेशियो चेंज नहीं होगा अगर हम 1 लिखते हैं यहाँ पे. क्लियर? Now you know that cosine theta or cos theta in a right angle triangle is nothing but adjacent side upon hypotenuse. Adjacent side upon hypotenuse. तो ये adjacent side कितना है? 0.8 हमने यहाँ पे लिख दिया. एंड द हाइपोटेनियस लेंथ यहाँ पे हम ले सकते हैं 1 इस रेशो से. क्लियर? सो ये cos थीटा रेशो हमें मिला 0.8 अपॉन 1. अभी ये राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल है, यहाँ पे 90 है. नाउ यू कैन यूज पाइथागोरस ओवर हियर टू फाइंड दिस लेंथ, अपोजिट साइड लेंथ. तो हमें ये पाइथागोरस अप्लाई करने के बाद क्या मिलेगा? सो सपोज दिस लेंथ इज इक्वल टू x. क्लियर? सो x फाइंड आउट करने के लिए हम पाइथागोरस यूज कैसे कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे? सो x स्क्वायर प्लस 0.8 स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 1 का स्क्वायर, दैट इज 1. एंड देयरफॉर x स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 1 स्क्वायर माइनस 0.8 स्क्वायर. क्लियर? ना 1 स्क्वायर क्या होगा? 1 माइनस 0.8 का स्क्वायर क्या हो जाएगा? 0.64. 8 इंटू 8 64, और यहाँ पे 2 डेसिमल यहाँ हमने पीछे शिफ्ट किया तो 0.64. Now 1 minus 0.64 is nothing but 0.36. Clear? तो अभी टेकिंग स्क्वायर रूट ऑन बोथ द साइड्स विल गेट x इज इक्वल टू 0.6. आ रहा है समझ में? सो ये जो लेंथ है थीटा के सामने वाला लेंथ वो कितना मिलेगा? 0.6. क्लियर? सो यहाँ से हम साइन थीटा फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं. साइन थीटा इज नथिंग बट अपोजिट साइड लेंथ अपॉन हाइपोटेनस विच इज 0.6 upon 1. Clear? So that is nothing but 0.6. And tan theta is nothing but opposite side length upon adjacent side length, that is 0.6 upon 0.8, that is nothing but 6 by 8. Clear? So now we will substitute sin theta and tan theta ratio in this equation, and therefore kinetic energy is equal to 10 raised to minus 1 into sin theta की जगह पे आएगा 0.6 into tan theta is nothing but 0.6 upon 0.8, that is 6 by 8. Now 0.6 into 6 is 0.36. कितना आएगा यहाँ पे? 6 6 कितना होता है? और ये 10 raised to minus 1, तो ये हो जाएगा 0.6 into 0.6, that is 0.36 upon 8. Now 0.36 upon 8 is nothing but 0.045 joule. Clear? So kinetic energy is 0.045 joule. हम अगर डिवाइड करते हैं यहाँ पे 36 को, तो 36 इंटू 10⁻² होगा ये अपॉन 8. नाउ 8 4 जा 32, बचा कितना? 4, और यहाँ पे हमने फिर से 0 लिया तो 8 5 जा 40, तो ये आएगा 0.045 जूल. क्लियर? सो काइनेटिक एनर्जी मिल गया हमें. नेक्स्ट हमें फाइंड आउट करना है पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. Now to find the change in the potential energy, we'll refer again this diagram of conical pendulum. So this is a bob of mass m which is moving along the circular path of radius r, and the string traces out the surface of a cone when bob performs the circular motion. Now this is the vertical height of the pendulum when it is at rest. So this is the height of the pendulum, which is capital L. So total height is capital L. And when it start rotating about this circular path, the bob slightly raises to this height. So this is the height h by which bob shifts in the upward direction. Now potential energy formula is nothing but mgh, that is mg into height with respect to certain reference point. Now when it is rest at this position, the height with respect to this point is 0, so potential energy here we will consider it as 0. And when it raises to this height, so this is the height h by which it shifts in the upward direction, and therefore the potential energy at this position, at this height, is equal to mgh. So change in the potential energy is mgh minus 0, the initial potential energy. This is final potential energy, this is the initial potential energy. Clear? So now delta P is equal to mgh. तो हमें पोटेंशियल एनर्जी में आने वाला चेंज फाइंड आउट करने के लिए h फाइंड आउट करना होगा, जिससे ये बॉब ऊपर उठा है. क्लियर? सो नाउ h फाइंड आउट करने के लिए हमें ये टोटल हाइट पता है कितना है. दिस इज नथिंग बट लेंथ ऑफ द पेंडुलम कैपिटल L, और ये जो हाइट है यहाँ से यहाँ तक. सो इन दिस राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल यू कैन अप्लाई cos थीटा रेशियो. सो cos थीटा इज इक्वल टू एडजेसेंट अपॉन हाइपोटेनस. So this length, we'll suppose this is x, x upon L is equal to cos theta, and therefore x is equal to L cos theta. So ये जो length है यहाँ से सेंटर से लेके यहाँ तक rigid support तक, this is nothing but L cos theta. So this height by which this bob moves in the upward direction is nothing but L minus L cos theta. So now we'll substitute the value of h. So delta P is equal to mg, and bracket के अंदर होगा L minus L cos theta. Now L is common, so we'll take it outside the bracket, and therefore delta P is equal to mg L1 minus cos theta. Now you know that value of cos theta is 0.8, and now we will substitute all the values. So delta P is equal to mass M 100 gram. So that will be 100 into 10 raised to minus 3. That will be 10 raised to minus 1. So 0.1 into G is 10 into length is nothing but 20 centimeter. So that will be in meter, 0.2 meter. And inside the bracket 1 minus 0.8. Cos theta is 0.8. So यहाँ से 0.1 into 10 कितना होगा 1 into 0.2, that is 0.2 into 0.2. So 0.2 into 0.2, that will be कितना हो जाएगा यहाँ पे 0.04. So delta P, that is change in the potential energy, gravitational potential energy, is equal to 0.04 joule. Clear? Now let's read the problem first. A motorcyclist as a particle is undergoing vertical circles inside a sphere of death. The speed of the motorcycle varies between 6 meter per second and 10 meter per second. So calculate the diameter of the sphere of death. How much minimum values are possible for these two speeds? So here, as there is a vertical circular motion, for vertical circular motion, total energy is conserved, and therefore we can apply the law of conservation of mechanical energy. So data given is VL, that is velocity at the lowermost point. So this is the lowermost point where the velocity given is 10 meter per second, and the velocity at the highest position is 6 meter per second in vertical circular path. We need to calculate what is diameter of this vertical circular path, and the minimum value at the lowest position and minimum value at the highest position. So now we'll apply the law of conservation of mechanical energy. So total energy at top is equal to total energy at bottom. Now total energy means what? Potential energy plus kinetic energy at top is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy at bottom. Now potential energy formula is mgh and kinetic energy formula is half mv square. So at the top position, height is nothing but twice of r. So h is the height, mgh plus half mvh square is the kinetic energy, where vh is nothing but the linear speed at the topmost position, which is equal to potential energy at the bottom. With respect to bottom, height is 0, so potential energy is 0 at this point, at this position, plus kinetic energy is half mv square, vl square, where vl is nothing but the linear speed at the lowermost position. So now m is common over here, so m get cancelled from both the sides, and therefore equation is 2gr is plus half m vh square is equal to half vl square. Now multiplying on both the sides by 2, will get vl square minus vh square is equal to 4gr. vh को हमने ये साइड शिफ्ट किया vl towards vl, so vl square minus vh square is equal to 4gr, or you can write down it as 2g into 2r. So 2r is nothing but diameter. Clear? Or you can write down here 4gr. Now you know the values of VL and VH, so we will substitute the values. VL is 10, so VL square is 10 square, that is 100, minus VH is 6, so 6 square, that is 36, is equal to 4gr. So 100 minus 36 is equal to 4 into g का value है 10 into r. So that will be r equals to 64 upon 10 4 जा 40, so 64 by 40. Now 4 से अगर हम इसको डिवाइड करते तो that will be 16 by 10. So r is nothing but 1.6 meter, or diameter is equal to 2r, which is equal to 3.2 meter. 1.6 into 2. Clear? So this is the diameter of this vertical circle. Clear? Now we already know the conditions for the minimum velocity at the lowermost position and at the topmost position. So to find the velocity at the lowermost position, that is VL mean, you know the formula is square root of IGR. This is the minimum velocity at the lowermost position, without which the particle or object cannot complete its vertical circular path. So VL minimum is equal to square root 5 GR. R is nothing but 1.6. Substitute all the values. So VL minimum is equal to square root of 5 into G is nothing but 10 into R is nothing but 1.6. Now 10 into 1.6, 16. So VL minimum is equal to square root of 5 into 16. Now square root of 16 is 4. So VL minimum is 4 root 5 meter per second. So this is the minimum velocity at the lowermost position to complete the vertical circle. Now to find the velocity at the highest position, minimum velocity at the highest position, VH minimum is equal to square root of GR. अगर बॉटम पोजीशन पे स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 5GR स्पीड होगा मिनिमम, तो ऑब्जेक्ट अपना वर्टिकल सर्कुलर पाथ कंप्लीट करके टॉप मोस्ट पोजीशन पे रीच होगा विद द मिनिमम वेलोसिटी स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ GR. So now substitute the values. VH minimum is equal to square root of G is 10 and R is 1.6, that is 16, and square root of 16 is 4. So VH minimum is equal to 4 meter per second. So this is the velocity at the lowermost position, 4 root 5 meter per second, and this is the velocity at the topmost position, 4 meter per second. Now let's read the next sum. A metallic ring of mass 1 kg has moment of inertia 1 kg meter square when rotating about one of its diameters. It is molten and remolded into a thin uniform disc of the same radius. How much will its moment of inertia be when rotated about its own axis, that is about its axis of symmetry? So the data which is given over here is mass of the ring is M ring is equal to 1 kg. Then the moment of inertia of ring about one of its diameter is 1 kg meter square. And we need to find the moment of inertia of disc जो इसी रिंग को क्या किया है, मोल्टन होके रिमोल्ड करके बनाया हुआ है, जिसका रेडियस क्या है, सेम एज दैट ऑफ द रिंग. तो अगर डिस्क रिंग से बना है उसका मास तो चेंज नहीं होगा, तो मास ऑफ द डिस्क एंड रेडियस ऑफ द डिस्क इज सेम एज दैट ऑफ द रिंग. क्लियर? Now we need to find its moment of inertia about its own axis of symmetry. Now the moment of inertia of ring about its axis of symmetry is mr square, and about its diameter, that is about y-axis or about x-axis, is nothing but mr square by 2. तो यहाँ पे अगर हम परपेंडिकुलर एक्सिस थ्योरम अप्लाई करते हैं तो mr square by 2 plus mr square by 2 is equal to mr square. So moment of inertia of ring about one of its diameter is mr square by 2. Now suppose ये डिस्क है जो किससे बना हुआ है, रिंग का बना हुआ है. रिंग को हमने क्या किया, पिघला के उसका डिस्क बनाया जिसका रेडियस क्या है, सेम एज दैट ऑफ द रिंग. तो मास चेंज नहीं होगा डिस्क का, वो भी m होगा, कैपिटल M जितना रिंग का है, और रेडियस भी क्या है, कैपिटल R. Now you know the formula for moment of inertia of disk about its axis of symmetry about an axis which is passing through its center of mass point and perpendicular to its plane is mr square by 2. तो अगर हम दोनों मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया को कंपेयर करते हैं तो आई रिंग, that is moment of inertia of ring, is mr square by 2 about its diameter which is 1 kg meter square, and as radius and mass of the ring are same as that of the disk, the moment of inertia of disk about this axis of rotation is mr square by 2, which is also equal to 1 kg meter square, as m and r in both the cases are same. Clear? So moment of inertia of disk is 1 kg meter square. Now let's read the sum first, that a big dumbbell is prepared by using a uniform rod of mass 60 gram and length 20 centimeter. Two identical solid spheres of mass 50 gram and radius 10 centimeter each are at the two ends of the rod. Calculate the moment of inertia of the dumbbell when rotated about an axis passing through its center and perpendicular to the length. So let's see what is given in the problem. So this is a dumbbell which is prepared from a rod, uniform rod, which is having length 20 centimeter and the mass of the rod is equal to 60 gram. Then there are two solid spheres which are attached at the ends of the rod. So this is a solid sphere of mass 50 gram and radius 10 centimeter. So these two are identical to each other. So ये भी जो sphere दिया है, solid sphere दिया है, उसका mass भी कितना है 50 gram and radius is equal to 10 centimeter. Clear? So what is given over here? The length of the rod is 20 centimeter. R for rod. So mass of the rod given is 60 gram. Radius of the solid sphere is 10 centimeter. Mass of the solid sphere. So these two spheres are identical. So each is having mass 50 gram. And we need to find the moment of inertia of dumbbell about this axis of rotation which is passing through its center and perpendicular to its length. Clear? Now this axis is also an axis which is passing through the center of the rod and it is perpendicular to the length of the rod. So we know that the moment of inertia of rod about this axis of rotation will be ml square by 12. We also find the moment of inertia of the solid sphere about this axis of rotation. और दोनों sphere identical है तो दोनों का moment of inertia about this axis of rotation क्या आएगा? Same. क्लियर? तो अगर हम ये तीनों का मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया अबाउट दिस एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन फाइंड आउट करते और ऐड करते तो हमें मिलेगा मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया ऑफ द डम्बेल अबाउट दिस एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन. क्लियर? ना अगर आप यहाँ पे देखते हो तो ये जो लेंथ ऑफ द रॉड है दैट इज 20 सेंटीमीटर. So the distance between this end and this axis of rotation on this side is equal to half, that is 10 centimeter, and on this side also it is equal to 10 centimeter. Clear? Now we'll find out the moment of inertia of this solid sphere first about this axis of rotation, which is nothing but its axis of symmetry, which is passing through its center of mass point. So this is nothing but diameter of the sphere, and then we'll apply the parallel axis theorem to find its moment of inertia about this axis of rotation. So the distance between these two parallel axes, perpendicular distance, is nothing but this half length of the rod, that is 10 centimeter, plus the radius of the sphere, that is 10. So total distance will be 20 centimeter between these two parallel axes, and then we can apply what? Parallel axis theorem. Clear? So let's see the formula. So moment of inertia of dumbbell about this axis of rotation which is perpendicular to its length is equal to moment of inertia of uniform rod about the axis of rotation which is passing through its center and perpendicular to its length, that is IR, plus the moment of inertia of these two solid spheres. So for first solid sphere we apply the parallel axis theorem, that I0 is equal to IC plus MH square. So this is nothing but IS, moment of inertia about this axis of rotation, that is about its diameter which is passing through its center of mass point, plus the mass of the solid sphere ms into the perpendicular distance between the two parallel axes, that is h square. Clear? Plus similarly for second sphere also is plus ms h square. Next we'll write down here id is equal to ir plus twice of is plus ms h square. दोनों के लिए सिमिलर है मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया, तो हमने यहाँ पे क्या लिया? ब्रैकेट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2. Now we'll separately find out the moment of inertia for rod and moment of inertia for solid sphere about this axis of rotation, and then we will add up the values. Clear? So IR is nothing but moment of inertia of rod about this axis of rotation. So formula is MRL square by 12. Clear? And the moment of inertia of the solid spheres about the axis of rotation which is passing through the center of mass point is 2 by 5 MSR square, where ms is nothing but mass of the solid sphere, mr is nothing but mass of the rod. Clear? So now we will calculate separately. So IR is equal to mr L square by 12. So 60 is nothing but mass of the rod into length is 20 centimeter. सो हम सीजीएस यूनिट में ही सबको रखेंगे क्योंकि मास और लेंथ जो है वो सीजीएस सिस्टम में दिया है. सो 20 का स्क्वायर अपॉन 12. नाउ 20 स्क्वायर 400. सो 16 into 400 अपॉन 12. नेक्स्ट 6 4 कितना होता है 24. So this is 24,000 upon 12. So 12 2 24. So 2000 kg meter square. और 12 5 60. 5 4 कितना होता है 20. और ये कितना आएगा, अब ये 12 5 60. ठीक है. एंड 5 4 कितना आएगा 20. So that will be 2000 kg meter square. Next, the moment of inertia of solid sphere about this axis of rotation is 2 by 5 ms r square. Next, we'll substitute ms value, which is 50 gram. So 2 into 50 into radius of the solid sphere is 10. So the whole square upon 5. 5 10 50. कितना होता है 5 10 50. So 10 2 20. 20 और यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा 10 raised to 2. तो ये वैल्यू कितना मिलेगा 10 raised to 2 is nothing but 100. So that will be ये 100, that is 10 raised to 2. Clear. And यहाँ पे आएगा अगेन 10 into 2 कितना आएगा 20. 20 into 100 कितना बनेगा 2000 kg meter square. Clear. समझ में आ रही है बात. So हमें moment of inertia मिला about this axis of rotation of the solid sphere. Now we will add these moment of inertia and we'll find out the moment of inertia of dumbbell. So ID, that is moment of inertia of dumbbell, is equal to कितना है आयार 2000. Clear. Next 2000 plus 2 times in bracket IS is nothing but given 2000 or calculated 2000 kg meter square. So 2000 plus mass of the solid sphere is 50 into the distance, perpendicular distance between these two parallel axes, which is equal to 20 centimeters. So 20 whole square. Now 20 ka square 400. So now we will calculate further. ID is equal to 2000 plus 2 inside the bracket 2000 plus 50 into 400. Now 5 4s are 20. So this will be 20,000. Then 20,000 plus 2000 कितना होगा 22,000. 22,000 into 2, that will be 44,000, and 44,000 plus 2, that will be 46,000. So moment of inertia of dumbbell about this axis of rotation is nothing but 46,000 gram centimeters square. So this is the moment of inertia of this dumbbell about the axis of rotation, which is passing through its center and perpendicular to its length. और सारे यूनिट सीजीएस सिस्टम में है तो इसका यूनिट आएगा ग्राम सेंटीमीटर स्क्वायर. Now let's read the sum. A flywheel used to prepare earthenware pots is set into rotation at 100 rpm. It is in the form of a disc of mass 10 kg and radius 0.4 meter. A lump of clay to be taken equivalent to a particle of mass 1.6 kg falls on it and adheres to it at a certain distance x from the center. Calculate x if the wheel now rotates at 80 rpm. So what is given? So there is a flywheel. So this is a flywheel which we can consider as a thin uniform disc. The mass of this disc is equal to कितना दिया 10 kg and the radius of this disc is 0.4 meter. So this flywheel is nothing but a uniform disc जिसका mass और radius हमको given है. So when it rotated about its axis of rotation, which is passing through its center of mass point and perpendicular to its plane, we can calculate its moment of inertia. Now when it is set into rotation, it rotates with the frequency 100 rpm, revolutions per minute. So revolutions per second 100 upon 60. So this is its initial frequency, which is given 100 rpm. So N1 is equal to 100 rpm. Now when a lump of clay, which we can consider as a particle, the mass of that lump of clay is 1.6 kg, which falls on it and adheres to it. So it sticks to it, and it sticks to it at a distance of x from the center. So we need to calculate its distance from the center, that is from the center of the disc. Now when it sticks to the flywheel, the rotation speed becomes 80 rpm. So frequency N2 is nothing but 80 revolutions per minute. And the mass of that lump is nothing but 1.6 kg. So हमें find out करना है x, the distance of that lump from the axis of rotation. Clear? Now जब भी ये यहाँ पे fall होता है lump of clay और उसका distance is suppose x from the axis of rotation, it increases the mass of the system. But यहाँ पे कोई भी external torque यूज नहीं हो रहा है, एक्सटर्नल टॉर्क नहीं लग रहा है, एंड देयरफॉर द टोटल एंगुलर मोमेंटम इज कंजर्व्ड. So I1 omega 1 is equal to I2 omega 2. So as moment of inertia increases, its angular speed decreases. जो यहाँ पे हमें दिख रहा है. So as angular speed decreases, its frequency of rotation decreases. Clear? So now using law of conservation of angular momentum, we will write down L1 is equal to L2. L1 is the initial angular momentum of the system and L2 is nothing but the final. Now L1 is nothing but I1 omega 1 and L2 is nothing but I2 omega 2, where I is nothing but moment of inertia of the disk about this axis of rotation passing through the center of mass point and perpendicular to its plane, and omega 1 is the initial angular speed. Similarly, I2 is nothing but moment of inertia of this whole system, that is moment of inertia of disk about this axis of rotation plus the moment of inertia of this lump of clay about this axis of rotation, and the angular speed becomes omega 2, where the frequency is 80 rpm. Clear? Next we'll write down it in terms of frequency. So I1 into 2 pi n1 initial frequency, which is equal to I1, that is moment of inertia of this disk, plus the moment of inertia of the lump of clay, which distance is x from the axis of rotation, so its mass into perpendicular distance square, that is mx square, 2 pi n2. N2 is the final frequency. Clear? Final frequency of rotation. Now first we will find out the moment of inertia of flywheel, which is nothing but a uniform disk. So I1 is equal to mr square by 2. So this is the moment of inertia of disk about its center of mass point, and it is passing through the axis of rotation is passing through the center of mass point and perpendicular to its plane. So mr square by 2 is equal to, mass is nothing but 10 kg, so 10 into radius square, so radius is nothing but 0.4 the whole square upon 2. Now 0.4 square is 0.16, 4 का square 16, decimal point हम लोग डालेंगे after 2 places, before 2 places, so 0.16 into 10 upon 2, which is equal to, now 10 into 0.16 is 1.6 upon 2, which is equal to 0.8 kg meter square. So this is the moment of inertia of disk flywheel. Now I1 2 pi n1 is equal to I1 plus mx square 2 pi n2. ये हमें law of conservation of angular momentum से मिला है. Now as 2 pi is common on both the sides, so it get cancelled from both the sides, and we'll get the equation I1 n1 is equal to I1 plus mx square into n2. तो ये bracket into n2 है. Final frequency, this is initial frequency. Now we'll substitute all the values. So as I1 is 0.8 kg meter square, so 0.8 into initial frequency is 100 rpm, so 100, which is equal to I1 again 0.8 plus the mass of the lump is 1.6 kg into its distance square, that is x square, into 80, that is 80 rpm is nothing but final frequency. उसका एंगुलर स्पीड कम होगा, मतलब फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या हो जाएगा, डिक्रीज होगा ड्यू टू इंक्रीज इन मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया. क्लियर? नाउ 0.8 into 100 is nothing but 80. Now 80 get cancelled from both the sides, so we'll get the equation 1.6 x square plus 0.8 is equal to 1. So to calculate x square, we'll shift this 0.8 towards this side. So 1.6 x square is equal to 1 minus 0.8. So 1.6 x square is equal to 1 minus 0.8, which is equal to 0.2. So x square is equal to 0.2 upon 1.6. So that will be 2 upon 16. So x square is 1 by 8. Clear? And therefore Taking square root on both the sides will get x is equal to 1 upon root 8 meter. So this is the distance of the lump of clay from the center, that is from the axis of rotation, which is passing through the center of the disc and perpendicular to its plane. So अगर square root 8 आप find out करते हो तो 4 into 2 8. Square root of 4 is 2, so 2 root 2, but root 2 is nothing but 1.412, which is substituted and then calculated. So x का value आपको 1 by root 8 भी आगे simplify हो जाएगा. Clear? So this is the distance of the lump of clay from the center of the disc. Clear? Thank you.